In this video, we're going to look at some data from the Bank of England, which is the best interest rate data in the world for the Bank of England interest rates, but also commercial liability curves. Okay, so let me share my screen first of all. Don't forget to do that, I did last time. And here I am on the lecture notes. We just finished that in the last topic, and now we're going to look at some Bank of England yield curve data. So first of all, where do we go? This link, if you click it, it's a hyperlink that will take you to the page you see here, where you can look at the latest data, some good teaching resources, yield curve terminology and concepts, and quarterly bulletin about the commercial bank liability curve as well. We're going to be downloading these data from the archive and going to focus on the nominal, not real or inflation yield curves. Real interest rates, of course, are the nominal minus inflation. We're not going to look at the commercial bank. I'll talk a little bit about the overnight index swap curve because that's a more recent innovation because that replaces LIBOR now. And these are the data we're going to download. I've uploaded them into ChatGPT to plot them as time series. So if you wanted a curve on any day, so for example on 1st of January 2019, this line, vertical line above 2019, we slice it through and then we make the maturity or term of the rate into the horizontal axis. It goes from 1 year, 2 year, 3 year up to 40 year. So that's on the horizontal axis, and then we plot the interest rate on the vertical axis, just as we have here, but we're just doing one snapshot of the 1st of January 2019. So that will give us the usual term structure that we see, but here I've got a whole evolution of the historical term structures as time series. So we can see in the spot rates that there were negative interest rates for a very long time. In fact, until 2022, they were negative because of the difficulties with recession in Western economies, and in particular the US Federal Reserve moved to negative interest rates. ECB and most Western economies were trying to boost borrowing because, you know, if interest rates are low, it's cheaper to borrow to boost the economy. What we can see is that we've got the usual upward sloping yield curve, even though the short-term rates were negative. Short-term rates are in the bluey colors and the long-term rates are in the red colors, as you can see from the key on the right-hand side. They go up to 40 years. The data are actually every 6 months, but I'm not plotting them all because that's a little bit too much. I've just plotted the short end and the long end and a bit in between, like the 10 and the 15-year, 10-year rate, as you can see, is sort of halfway between the short end and the long end. We have a brief inverted yield curve here, where the short rates are longer than the long-term rates in the middle of 2023, but most of the time we have the usual upward sloping yield curve. And in particular, recently, the long-term interest rates have gone up because Rachel Reeves, the Chancellor in the UK, is needing to borrow more money, and she's doing it, as most governments do, at the long end. And so in order to entice more demand for long-term bonds, she has to raise their coupon payments. In other words, interest rates paid on long-term government debt is going up. The curve below, the evolution of which you can see here, are not term forward rates that we discussed in the previous video. They are instantaneous forward rates, as the term has a limit to 0. But these can be used to calculate forward rates of any term. I'm not going to go through how these are done, but you can do it using ChatGPT. It's very helpful. And if you feed in the data, it will produce instantaneous forward rates of any term provided you give the prompts properly. Sorry, of any tenor. Here are the terms, but it's the tenor, whether you want a 1 year forward 2 month rate or 3 month rate or 1 year forward 4 month rate. So it's not the term that matters so much. We've got the terms here. We've got the terms, we haven't got the tenors. Overnight index swap curve. So these can also be downloaded. I'm not going to show you what they look like because they look quite similar to the instantaneous forward rates. An overnight index swap is an interest rate swap where the floating rate is based on something called the sterling overnight index average. And that is calculated taking an average of all the market rates of different terms. In other words, each point on the OIS curve represents the market expectations of the average future rates over that maturity. So we widely use this as the risk-free yield curve in sterling markets now. So LIBOR, which has problems because of the way it was calculated, there was many scandals about the rigging of LIBOR rates by banks colluding in chat rooms. Instead, we use this Sonia curve, which is not so susceptible to fraud. So that's all I'm going to say about the slides, but I want to now show you the data. Probably best if, actually I've already got it open, but that link takes you here. So on the Bank of England data, the slide is a hyperlink and it takes you to this page here where you get latest, that's just the last month or so of data. This is quite useful. It's a glossary of terminologies and concepts. And then you've got the commercial bank liability curve. Actually, this is just a quarterly bulletin about that curve. So these latest data you can download, but you're not going to get much data there, so ignore that. For the terminology and concepts, you can look at the types of instruments, the gilts, repos, overnight index swap, and the type of yield curves provided. This is a wonderful resource if you're doing a project on the type of yield curve data, then do have a look at that. And then there's the quarterly bulletin article, what's happening at the moment. Actually, this is 2000 Q4. So this is not at the moment, this is from many years ago. I'm not quite sure why that link didn't work. These are the slices through that I was talking about of the time series evolution of different maturity interest rates. So the blue one is what it looked like on the 18th of September, and the orange one is what it looked like at the end of last week on the 16th of October. And here's the data we're going to look at. I'm not going to look at monthly data. Economists would want to look at monthly data, but I'm not. I'm going to look at this government liability curve. So here it is. So if I open it up, I get all these different Excel files going back to 1979. So I've given you in Excel Workbook 5, you've got the nominal data, which is here. And you've got the spot, you've got the instantaneous forwards, and you've got just the short rates for the spot, which goes up to 60 months, 5 years, and similarly for the forwards, maturities on the forward, instantaneous forward curves match the maturities on the spot curve. So it's the entire spot curve we've got here, but you've got problems with the data here. For example, on the 6th of May 2024, there's no data. There's no data here. So in other words, whenever there's a bank holiday, there's no data. And we don't always have data on the 6-month rate either. See, no data here. So I cleaned it up for you and put it in Excel workbook. So this is Excel workbook 5. These are the forward rates. As you can see, they have the same maturities. 1 year, 18 months, 2 years, 2.5 years, and so forth. And they run from the 4th of January in 2016 to the 31st of December and 2024. And the spot rates here, again, it's the same rows, about 2,200 rows or so, and these are the years. So these are the data that I put into ChatGPT to get that nice graph. Let me show you what I asked ChatGPT. So I just used the dictation tool. I just want you to read these data in the Excel file. There's 2 spreadsheets. One's called Spot, that's Bank of England spot rate, and one is called Forward, that's the Bank of England forward rate. Headings in row 1 are numbers that correspond to the maturity of the rates, and they're measured in years. And I'd like you to plot time series using the entire sample. In column A, that's where the dates are, and I'd like you to do 1 time series plot for the spot rates and 1 for the forward rates. And I'd like you to choose 1 year, 2 year, 3 year, 4 year, 5 year, 10 year, 15 year, 20 year, 30 year, and 40 year. Don't plot all the columns, just those years, and there should be 2 nice graphs, sort of in a rectangle, not square. So the horizontal axis is wide, wider than the vertical axis is high. So I can say that very quickly. I'm losing the ability to type now because all my ums, and I do say quite a lot, are deleted, even on the dictation before I press send. It filters all the imperfections in my speech before I press send, and that's what I had. And here are the data plotted as I asked exactly, except I didn't much like the colors. I thought they could be better. And then it offers to export the plots to PDFs, add things like exponentially weighted moving averages to smooth them out. In fact, I can already just download the chart like that, and that's a PNG, so I don't need to export it. They're both in a single plot, so don't need that. Smoothing of these data is not relevant. Highlighting specific events or dates would be relevant, but I haven't asked it to do that. Just said it's really good, except I'd like you to change the color scheme so that it goes through the colors of the rainbows. Short rates are like red, orange, yellow, and longer rates are like blue, indigo, and violet. Actually, they did it the wrong way around. It colored it so that the blue, indigo, violet ones were the short rates and the red, orange, yellow were the longer rates. Never mind, it's still good enough. So I just said, go through the colours of the rainbow as the years get longer. So maybe that's what it interpreted. Anyway, so it produced this very nice plot just in a couple of minutes, which I could put into my slides. So that's it for now. I'll see you in the next video.